From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colberth.
Good Thursday morning as we peek ahead to this weekend. We have more strong wind gusts on the way, which is why we're going with another First Alert weather day in the Kittitas Valley. Peak wind gusts could be between 60 to 65 miles per hour. We've had like 4 or 5 of these things now this spring that have mirrored this exactly. So to you folks in Ellensburg, I'm sorry, but those are just the breaks over the next few days. We're still seeing some residual wind gusts right now in the Kittitas Valley out of the north and west and out of the south and west for the lower Columbia Basin, the Bluefoot Hills, and for the Blue Mountains. But the winds today not going to be nearly as strong as they were for yesterday. This morning, temperatures in the 40s and 50s for lower elevations, 30s up in the Cascades and Blues, so that's where it could be perhaps a little bit frosty out there. Here's your day planner forecast for today for lower elevations. Clouds going to be building throughout the day. Could maybe even have a few light showers during the late afternoon in the valley. So here's the bottom line for the forecast. We will have a round of showers likely tonight, especially in the foothills and mountains. More widespread shower and thunderstorms likely again on Saturday, and of course very windy in the Kittitas Valley on Sunday again. So I'll touch on all these points coming up on Good Morning Northwest, which starts right now.
Straight ahead on Good Morning Northwest, a school bus with children on board collides with a pickup truck in Kennewick, leaving one person hospitalized. We have what police are reminding drivers of coming up.
Voting?
Yes.
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 A unanimous vote from the Richland School Board, what it means for a policy focused on race and curriculum and how the district plans to move forward.
And it's part art, part aviation tool, and it's getting a makeover. Our very own Dan Hansen has a sneak peek at the new look of the massive Compass Rose. That and more is all coming up on Good Morning Northwest, which starts right now.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good Morning Northwest on your side.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jessica Jalal.
I'm Jade Elliott. It is Thursday, May 15th. Thank you so much for waking up with us. And we want to start off with news this morning coming out of Kennewick, talking about that school bus crash that actually sent one person to the hospital.
And it happened just before 2 p.m. at the intersection of 10th Street and Clearwater Avenue. A silver pickup collided with the school bus carrying several children. Thankfully, authorities say none of the injuries to the children were serious. And the driver of the pickup was taken to the hospital, but Kennewick police are reminding drivers to stay alert, especially at busy intersections like this one.
So what it sounds like was the bus, from our understanding, was turning from 10th onto Clearwater, and a vehicle that was traveling on Clearwater collided with the bus at the intersection.
So the school district did send out an alert to the parents of the kids that were on that bus. We're also told another bus did eventually come to get those kids picked up. And at this time, Kennewick police telling us that the crash remains under investigation. And all of this comes as Washington State Patrol is warning drivers to stay vigilant as we approach a historically dangerous time on Washington roadways. Washington State Patrol is saying in the first 2 weeks of May, troopers have already responded to 12 deadly crashes and several serious injury crashes. As we head into summer, troopers are urging drivers to stay alert, especially during the next 90 days. It's typically considered the 90 deadliest days on the roadway. Troopers are reminding drivers to buckle up, slow down, stay sober, and follow the rules of the road.
Moving on to fire watch in northern Oregon, Pendleton Fire responded to a blaze behind the Walmart on Tuesday night. Officials say there were stacks of pallets and compressed cardboard bales that caught fire and were threatening structures nearby. Units arrived and knocked the fire down before it could extend to those structures. Luckily, no one was hurt.
And before wildfire season officially starts, the American Red Cross of Central Washington is working behind the scenes to make sure that people don't have to face some of these worst times alone. So this Saturday, volunteers and local partners are going to help educate, prevent, and prepare the community for wildfire risks. Officials say that homes that catch fire during a wildfire, 90% of them start just from an ember. This event will be held from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. off of South 2nd Street in Yakima. Public is asked to arrive by 9, and then those groups will be traveling to the Meadowbrooks Estates to notify residents there. Following up on the Richland School Board, where a vote to eliminate their race and curriculum policy was just held Tuesday.
Voting?
Yes.
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 You heard it there, the board officially voting to eliminate the policy, a unanimous decision. In a statement from board members, they say that they remain committed to reflecting the diversity of the community and classrooms in educational materials. They emphasize that students should continue learning social studies, civics, and U.S. history from a nonpartisan perspective, free from political or personal bias.
And staying in local education news, several Kennewick schools are being recognized for exceptional performance during the 2023 to 2024 school year. The Washington School Recognition Program has honored 6 schools in the district for their achievements in student growth, for closing learning gaps, and just overall academic success. They've placed them among the top 16% of schools statewide, and those honorees include Amistad and Southgate for helping close gaps, Cottonwood for achievement, and Endeavor, Vista, and Westgate for growth. So congratulations to all these schools for their outstanding dedication to student success.
Well, the Hermiston School District is moving forward with safety enhancements at Desert View Elementary. They're going to be doing it this summer with money using money that was remaining from a voter-approved 2019 school bond. Renovation projects will focus on 2 key safety improvements: a new secure entry vestibule to better control access to the school building, and significant changes to traffic patterns for safer, more efficient student drop-off and pickup. To minimize disruption to education, the district has scheduled the work to be done in a summer blitz project, so construction will start and finish during summer break, and that of course is when students and staff are not on campus.
And Washington is taking bold steps to fight climate change, and one way is by cutting methane emissions from landfills. When organic waste like food and yard trimmings, then when they decompose in landfills, it releases methane. That's a greenhouse gas more than 80 times more potent than carbon dioxide over a 20-year period. Methane alone is responsible for over 25% of today's global warming, and the state is working to reduce those emissions as part of its broader climate goals. By 2050, Washington aims to slash greenhouse gas emissions by 95% compared to 1990 levels.
The 3 buckets or categories of funding that are compliance related are specifically for compliance and design planning. We also offer funding for monitoring as well as gas collection and control systems.
Reducing methane from landfills is just one way that Washington is tackling climate change, with more initiatives in the works to meet its 2050 targets.
News out of Richland this morning. Have you ever looked down an airport runway and noticed what looks like a giant compass?
I did not ever notice that, but now I will.
You won't be able to unsee it, I'm sure.
So it's called a compass rose, and the Richland Airport is getting one. So the Port of Benton is teaming up with the Mid-Columbia chapter of the 99s, which is a group of women pilots, to refresh and relocate the airport's 80-foot compass rose.
So this massive symbol helps pilots calibrate their navigation instruments with precision. It's a vital tool with an artistic twist.
Anytime that there's a change to avionics or different things inside the aircraft, then they bring the aircraft out to the compass rose and verify that it hasn't affected the compass inside the aircraft.
The 99s are no stranger to air markings. They have painted airport names and symbols across the state, but this will be their first ever compass rose at the Richland Airport. And they're going to bring about 15 volunteers to get the job done. Surveying starts May 9th, and they say that they're going to put in about 150 volunteer hours to get this done.
I can't wait to see it, though, the final product.
I know.
It'll be cool.
Oh, I'm sure Dan will do a follow-up for us.
Oh, yeah. And coming up here on Good Morning Northwest, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. clashed with lawmakers when he was questioned about vaccines, mass layoffs, and canceled medical research. And we have all the details coming up in your national headlines.
And we also will check back in with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth. He'll have your first alert forecast, giving you that live look outside this morning from our Dust Devils camera in Pasco. Beautiful blue skies. It is 6:09, and we're back after the break.
Get ready, Walla Walla. The sweetest season is here. Join us at the ballpark as the Walla Walla Sweets hit the field for another unforgettable season. Whether you're a diehard fan or just looking for a fun night out, there's something for everyone at a Walla Walla Sweets game. Grab your peanuts, popcorn, and Lucky Cap, because this season the Walla Walla Sweets are bringing the thrill of baseball right to your backyard. Don't miss out on the excitement. Get your tickets now and be part of the Walla Walla Sweets experience. Let's play ball.
From Apple Valley News Now, this is Medically Speaking.
Here at the clinic, we stay up to date on the latest research and we offer cutting-edge therapies. We treat a number of different conditions, specifically Parkinson's disease, stroke recovery, traumatic brain injury, fibromyalgia, diabetes. We also treat folks dealing with cognitive decline due to aging.
We all have dreams and ideas about how life is going to be, and then life happens, and it's not necessarily what we pictured. So how do we deal with that? I've lived with multiple sclerosis for years. It's realizing that it's all one system. How do you reset your goals so that you can live a happy, healthy life even with chronic illness? And I can attest, yes, you can. My life is incredibly happy.
We first start by improving oxygen utilization in the cells because healthy cells are well oxygenated. We then work towards improving areas of the brain that are inefficient, and for this we use a number of different modalities. We offer oxygen contrast therapy, hyperbaric oxygen therapy, transcranial photobiomodulation, and our latest addition, brain high-intensity interval training.
We also build a schedule for the patient that makes it easy to adapt their game plan to their lives and the therapies they do inside the clinic. To get started, call 509-783-5465 and schedule an appointment with a client advocate today.
All right, everybody. I know it's easy to forget things, but we don't want you to miss this new deal from US Cellular. Save big with our best price ever. Just $15 a line when you get 4 lines.
Ooh, I can save enough to buy a gift for my understanding wife.
Sorry, I'm late. Ooh, that's a great deal. I have a facial. This was fun.
Oh, come on. You have flowers? Save big with our best price ever. Just $15 a line when you get 4 lines. US Cellular, built for us.
This newscast sponsored by Mariano Morales Law. From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colberth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Let's go ahead and take you on a zone-by-zone tour of this morning's temperatures, spanning from 33 to 46 in Kittitas County, 33 for Snoqualmie Pass, 46 in Ellensburg. Then in the Yakima Valley, we're spanning from 40 to 50. That's very symmetrical. 40 for Sunnyside, 50 for Yakima. Then in the Lower Columbia Basin, we're mostly in we're all in the 40s, 48 for the Tri-Cities, 47 for Benton City. In the Blue Foothills, mostly in the 40s here, 38 for Heppner though, and then 30s up in the higher terrain of the Blue Mountains. Here is your coatcast for today for the Tri-Cities. A light jacket weather for this morning, but into the afternoon it should be t-shirt weather, perhaps raincoat weather for late tonight, as there will be that chance of a shower. So for today, mostly dry, although we're not ruling out like a 10% chance of showers in the valley, specifically during the late afternoon, about a 40% chance of showers up in the Cascades. Highs are going to be about 5 to 10 degrees cooler than normal for this time of the year, which means 60s and 70s for lower elevations. And the winds not going to be nearly as strong as yesterday, but still pretty breezy / windy, especially once again in the Kittitas Valley. Then for tonight, shower chances becoming much more widespread, especially in the foothills and mountains. Overnight lows falling down into the 40s for lower elevations, 30s up in the mountains. As we head into this weekend, we're going to have another round of showers and thunderstorms specifically for Saturday, and then another round of very strong wind gusts for Sunday. So I'll break down that weekend forecast coming up in a few minutes.
Josh, thanks so much. 6:13 in your national headlines this morning. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy's testimony before 2 congressional meetings yesterday turned pretty contentious.
Lawmakers pressed the nation's top health official over his controversial positions around vaccine safety and the impacts of his proposed budget cuts. Christiane Cordero has all the details.
This morning, lawmakers from both sides of the aisle critical of Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s vaccine skepticism. The secretary on Capitol Hill yesterday refused to call the measles vaccine safe and effective, despite medical consensus that it is, and after 3 unvaccinated people, including 2 children, died in an ongoing measles outbreak. Kennedy then telling lawmakers his opinions about vaccines are irrelevant.
I don't want to seem like I'm being evasive. Yeah. But I don't think people should be taking advice, medical advice from me.
A major public health official among those speaking out.
That is his job, is to give people the best advice that he can.
The secretary also falsely claimed most childhood vaccines have not undergone rigorous testing, corrected by the Republican chairman of the Health Committee and physician, Senator Bill Cassidy.
The secretary made the statement that no vaccines except for COVID have been evaluated against placebo. For the record, that's not true.
And on the slashing of the federal workforce at the direction of Elon Musk, Kennedy was pressed on the consequences of cutting 20,000 jobs, including lead exposure experts who were set to travel to Milwaukee, where students at several schools have been exposed to dangerous lead levels.
Now, Kennedy noted that he had reinstated some programs, including the World Trade Center Health Program.
And he also vowed to work with Democrats to lower the price of prescription drugs.
So much more ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. When we come back, checking back in with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth, giving you that live look outside this morning from our Dust Devils camera in Pasco. It is 6:15, and when we come back, he will have a look at your First Alert forecast.
Whether you're injured on the road or on the job, the big dogs at Brumback and Autumn will get you the full compensation. Leave nothing on the table. Brumback and Autumn. Bulldog tough.
Have you heard about refractive lens exchange? K2 Vision RLE means no glasses, no contacts, and no readers permanently. And you'll never develop a cataract.
No glasses or readers. K2 Vision RLE.
Which automaker employs the most hourly workers in the country? Ford. Which automaker assembles the most vehicles in the country? Ford. That's not a coincidence. It's a commitment. A commitment Ford dealers share by offering employee pricing across a full lineup of Ford vehicles.
Now get employee pricing available across a full lineup of Ford trucks and SUVs. Employee pricing, you pay what we pay. Only from your local Ford dealer.
At McCurley Subaru, service has always meant more than just turning wrenches. It's about turning trust into lasting relationships. That's why we've expanded to better serve you. Double the oil change bays, 33% more technicians, and faster turnaround with basic services done in about 45 minutes. And we don't just service Subarus. We work on all makes and models, old and new. Whether you're maintaining your vehicle or facing something bigger, our newly remodeled service department is ready when you are. McCurley Subaru, your way home. Book your service appointment today at McCurleySubaru.com.
We have a very special bond, I think, as a family. Spectrum is the connecting thread to everything we do.
It provides us with reliability, lightning speeds, and allows us to do what we need to do in our lives.
From school to homework to entertainment, Spectrum's the perfect match for me and my family.
Fast, reliable internet starting at $30 a month, backed by the Spectrum commitment to keep you connected.
Good evening, everybody. To make great newscasts, you need great resources and an experienced team.
We begin tonight with breaking news coming up.
Wendy Redman has been a leader in broadcast news for 20 years plus.
Monique Ledesma is
Wendy breaks big stories, produces special reports that make a difference, and brings the news home to you each evening.
It's sometimes dramatic, but always informative.
Wendy Redman, Austin Reed, Stacey Lee, Apple Valley News Now at 5, 6, and 6:30 on your side.
Always on your side.
The 3-Degree Guarantee, sponsored by Legends Casino Hotel.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. We once again have a First Alert weather day in the Kittitas Valley, not for today, but for Sunday, as once again, some of those peak gusts could be between 60 to 65 miles per hour. So that's going to be the end of the story. Let's start with the beginning of the story, though. 12 p.m. today. Pretty dry out there, but an uptick in clouds, and then into the late afternoon could see some showers in the valleys, also up into the Cascades. By 8 p.m., some of this starting to get into the lower Columbia Basin, and then closer to midnight, this is going to be situated on top of the Blue Foothills and the Blue Mountains. It doesn't look like we're going to get much rainfall from this at all, as this will end up being pretty light. And then for tomorrow, could have a few light showers left over for the foothills or blues. Futurecast not super bullish on that proposition. Just know it should be a pretty dry day for tomorrow. That is not going to be the case as we head into this weekend, specifically for Saturday. Shower and thunderstorm chances becoming pretty likely, pretty widespread. Could have some of that lingering into Sunday, then looking much drier for Monday through Wednesday. So let's touch on that Saturday, Sunday sequence. We could have, if you round up, could have upwards of an inch of rainfall in the Blues, around a ½ an inch in the Cascades, between 0.2 to 0.4 in the Blue Foothills. Not much doing at all, though, for the Kittitas Valley, the Yakima Valley, or the Lower Columbia Basin. But that doesn't mean the valleys won't be impacted, though, as they certainly will be impacted, especially on Sunday, especially in the Kittitas Valley. Like we mentioned, peak gusts between 60 to 65 miles per hour. But really, across the map, we'll all see some breezy or windy conditions. But the magnitude of that is really just going to depend on your microclimate. High temperatures staying about 5 to 10 degrees cooler than normal through Sunday. Then we'll start to inch our way back up closer to that seasonal line for Monday through Wednesday. Here is the 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. Showers likely Saturday, perhaps a leftover shower Sunday, then a very pleasant start to next week. In Yakima, maybe a shower possible today during the late afternoon into this evening. Another round possible Saturday, then the winds pick up Sunday. In Ellensburg, showers and storms likely Saturday. Another round of very strong wind gusts on Sunday, then maybe a smidge calmer to start next week. In Hermiston, maybe a sprinkle on Friday, but showers likely for Saturday, then perhaps a leftover shower for Sunday. Finally, for Walla Walla, rain could still hang around on Friday, but chances for showers and thunderstorms will be much higher on Saturday.
Thanks, Josh. 6:21. Still much more ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. A popular YouTuber, Mr. Beast, has landed himself in some hot international water. We have the details on the video that has already gained 57 million views. We're back after the break.
With McValue at McDonald's, you'll get deals on drinks whenever you hit the afternoon slump.
We've got your pick-me-up covered because medium drinks are now $2.29. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Hey, your homework done?
Yep.
Hey, is your homework done?
This kind of is homework. So, what do you think?
I'm so proud of you. Can I play some more?
Is all your work done?
Washington's Lottery is a proud partner in the goal to promote college and career training. Each time you play, you're helping students statewide.
In a world filled with accidents, the injured look to Mo, because Mo knows these guys are bulldog tough on personal injury and workers' compensation claims. Mo knows you can go to the other guys, but why would you? Brumback and Autumn, bulldog tough.
To keep your home cool and comfortable all summer, your air conditioner needs maintenance this spring. Vance will inspect, test, and clean your AC so it's ready for hot weather. Don't take a chance. Call Vance.
Taking care of your mental health is important. If you're working at home, have an end time for your work schedule and stick to it. More at AppleValleyNewsNow.com.
Mental health services at Prosser Memorial Health's primary care clinics. Visit prosserhealth.org.
Meet the Moore family. They switched from cable internet to Ziply Fiber and got so much more. Mr. Moore got more upload speed for next level gaming and live streaming to the masses. Mason Moore got even more done for his sneaker business, quickly uploading HD product demos and video conferencing without freezing.
Brad, you're on mute.
And now that her family doesn't need her for tech support, Mrs. Moore has more time to stream games into overtime.
Let's go!
Get more of what you love by switching to Ziply Fiber for $65 less per month than cable at ziplyfiber.com.
The Blue Compass RV All-American Summer Road Trip is on, with new RVs starting at just $97 a month, plus in-store only specials at our 100-plus locations coast to coast. Big country, big adventure, big savings, only at Blue Compass RV.
When you say let's go to breakfast, you mean let's go to McDonald's. Obviously.
Get the morning going when you buy one breakfast sandwich and get another one for $1.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Wendy Redmond, Austin Reed, Stacey Lee weather. Apple Valley News Now, on your side.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. In your entertainment headlines, a popular YouTuber with over 349 million subscribers has found himself in major trouble.
That's right. 27-year-old Mr. Beast is being criticized for filming in some of Mexico's most important archaeological sites.
Well, in a video published over the weekend, Mr. Beast, whose real name is Jimmy Donaldson, that doesn't have as much punch as Mr. Beast, but him and his team visited several sites, including Chichen Itza.
Chichen Itza.
Of course.
Yep.
Some of the sites are not accessible to the public.
Yeah, the National Institute of Anthropology and History say both the visit and the recording were carried out through formal requests. However, those requests were made by local governments and the Federal Ministry of Tourism.
Mexico's president has asked the Institute to provide information on the nature of the permit for the video and warned there may be sanctions if the permit was violated. The group also noted certain scenes were dramatized and did not reflect actual events.
Shocking. All right, Live Nation has announced a $30 ticket to summer deal. It's a concert series. The online offer starts May 21st.
Fans will be able to purchase $30 tickets to more than 1,000 concerts. Some of the artists participating are Avril Lavigne, Nelly, Rod Stewart, and Kesha. That sounds like a pretty good deal.
I like it.
I'm surprised this hasn't been done before. This sounds like a great idea.
Yeah.
Well, Live Nation says more shows will be added throughout the summer.
I know it. I'll be looking up during the commercial break.
Yeah, like one
Where
ticket
are they
for
coming
a bunch
here?
of concerts.
Yes.
Heck yeah.
All right, Riri's new album, still on ice, but she has a new song ready for release.
I'll believe it when I see it, but
Right?
according to the script, it says Friend of Mine will be featured in the animated Smurfs movie, where the singer provides the voice of Smurfette. A trailer of the film has clips of the new song, and that trailer is out, but the entire track comes out Friday.
Rihanna hasn't released a new song since 2022 when Lift Me Up was included in the Black Panther Wakanda Forever movie, and her last album, Anti, came out in 2016, and it is my favorite Rihanna album.
It is a good one.
So
it is really good.
And it just reminded me that I need to listen to it. It's been a while.
Yeah, let's bring that back into
That's what I'm listening to
circulation.
today.
But that's a high bar. She set some
Yeah.
big expectations for
I know, because
herself.
I've been waiting forever.
So it's been a decade. Like you better come
Better
through.
bring it, Riri.
Yes.
But we ask
You will.
nicely.
Yeah, but with a smile.
Exactly.
All right, so much more ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. If you want to run for Yakima City Council, well, you're going to have to wait until next year because filing has officially come to an end. We are learning that over 100 candidates have added their names to the ballot.
But which races are important to us, we'll let you know and break it all down coming up in your next half hour.
Seems like everyone's going country these days. Let me show you how it's done. Yep, that Nashville Hot Sweet Heat is here on my 100% all-white meat popcorn chicken starting at $5.99. Tastes good to go country. Get so much more.
Welcome to Jack in the Box. When it comes to legal matters, you need someone you can trust. At Morphine Law Firm, we are sincerely grateful for the last 5 years of trust and support you've given our firm. Your trust and support have been a major driving force behind our mission for justice. We offer free consultations, and we may not always tell you what you want to hear, but we try to steer you in the right direction. We appreciate your continued trust and confidence in Morphine Law Firm.
The Inland Northwest is a vibrant community, rich in tradition and pride. And Culligan has a long history of providing custom solutions to address the area's water worries, like nitrates, bacteria, and PFAS. Culligan, water you love since 1936.
Show why purple is the greatest sleep ever invented. We've hired Humpty Dumpty.
Oh no.
Yes! No cracks! And my aches and pains are gone.
That's because Purple's GelFlex Grid is soft where you want it and firm where you need it, reducing your aches and pains by up to 40%.
And right now, save up to $1,000 on select mattress and base bundles. Denver Mattress, the easiest way to find your perfect purple.
If you find yourself in a rut, small habit changes can make a big difference. Meditation, for example, can break up a day and reduce stress. More at AppleValleyNewsNow.com.
Mental health services at Prosser Memorial Health's primary care clinics. Visit prosserhealth.org.
Feeling overwhelmed? It's time to shed your worries, literally. At Columbia Basin Buildings and Sheds, we've got the perfect shed to clear the clutter, create space, and bring peace to your life. Man cave, playhouse, done. Want something custom? We'll build it just the way you want it. And we deliver for free. Spring is here. Shed the mess, shed the stress. See dealer for special pricing. Visit Columbia Basin Building and Sheds today, 3680 West Van Giesen in West Richland.
There's working you. And then there's chill you. Chill you is more carefree and curious, more present, more relaxed, more fun. Chill you is the best you. There you are. Bring back your chill you with an escape to Coeur d'Alene, the city by the lake. Win a dream giveaway at cda4.fun.
I'm not going to do anything flashy to announce my munchies under $4. The items you crave, like tiny tacos or French toast sticks for less than $4. But I will do something explosive! At Jack, every bite's a big deal! Welcome to Jack in the Box.
The awesome Hiawatha Trail. Fly the Northwest, Tuesday night at 6. This is Apple Valley News Now. Good morning, Northwest. On your side.
Good Thursday morning. Thanks so much for waking up with us, joining us here for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jade Elliott.
I'm Jessica Jalal.
I'm Josh Colbert.
We just spent the commercial break watching the Smurfs trailer.
We talked about the Rihanna song coming out, so we wanted to hear it, and
we're
it
here
sounds
for
good.
it. I know.
Some groove to it.
There is groove to it.
Get you moving.
You got a little groove going too with the 3-degree guarantee.
A little bit of a groove, yeah.
A little bit of a groove.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and take a look at some of the numbers to back up my groove. Thanks again to our friends at the Legends Casino and Hotel for sponsoring the 3-degree guarantee. Yeah, the jackpot is up to $600 now. As yesterday, I went with the forecast high of 72 in Pasco Tri-Cities. Had to sweat it out a little bit. It did verify at 74 within the 3-degree threshold. So yes, the jackpot did go up. For today, I'm going with a slightly cooler high of 70 in Pasco Tri-Cities. If it verifies between 67 to 73, the jackpot's going to go up to $625. If that doesn't happen, the jackpot could be yours. Find out how to win the jackpot by going to applevalleyNewsNow.com, clicking on the contest page, or you can scan the QR code that's on your screen. Now what's on your screen is something that looks very familiar. A first alert weather day for the Kittitas Valley. Peak wind gusts between 60 to 65 miles per hour. But just to clarify, this isn't for today. This is for Sunday, as we have another round of strong winds on the way. And we're still dealing with some of the wind gusts from yesterday, residual wind gusts. They're not going to be as strong as yesterday, but still gusting out of the north and west around 30 miles per hour in the Kittitas Valley, between, I'd say, 15 to 30 miles per hour for the Blue Mountains, the Blue Foothills, and the lower Columbia Basin. Those winds gusting out of the south and west. Temperatures in the 40s and 50s for lower elevations, 30s up in the Cascades and Blues, so up that way could be a little bit frosty for this morning. Here's your hour-by-hour forecast for today for the Tri-Cities. Clouds building throughout the day. Could maybe even have a shower into the late evening. So for today, can't rule out some late afternoon showers in the valleys. I think it's going to end up being a pretty dry day, and high temperatures about 5 to 10 degrees cooler than normal for this time of the year. I'll take you on that zone-by-zone tour of today's forecast coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. Starting this half hour off with an update from the Kennewick Police Department, authorities say they've now identified the 2 suspects accused of stealing more than $1,000 worth of merchandise. The incident happened back on April 23rd at a store inside the Columbia Center Mall. Police say the 2 men walked out with several pairs of sunglasses without paying. Thanks to help from the public, both suspects have now been identified.
6:33 news out of Yakima County, where crews responded to a house fire in Sunnyside just yesterday morning. It broke out just before 4 o'clock in the morning. It was on the 500 block of Hornby Road in Sunnyside. Crews tell us the fire actually started on the outside of the house, and the caller was trying to put that fire out with a garden hose. That's when crews arrived, and they had found that the fire had spread to the attic of the home as well. Authorities say the house was damaged by the smoke and water, and that the roof had some major damage, but luckily no one was hurt.
Staying in Yakima, the candidate filing period for the 2025 primary election is now closed, which means it's time for those running for a seat at the table to campaign. Now, the primary election is set for August 5th, and the way the primary election works, the Yakima County Auditor says any position that has 2 or more people running for it will show up on the ballot. Next, the top 2 candidates of those races will move on to the general election, and the Yakima Auditor says these are some dates that voters should keep in mind.
The overseas and military ballots go out in the mail on June 20th. Regular ballots would be available to the voters on July 18th, and then the election date itself is August 5th, and then it is certified on August 19th.
The auditor also says one race those in Yakima County can expect to see on their ballots is the Yakima County coroner position, and we'll have other races that voters can expect to see on their ballots coming up on our website, and more information will be found there.
Another hot race in this upcoming primary election, the seat for the mayor of Mabton. So despite a recall action being started for its current mayor, She decided she's not ready to give up that title. She's running for re-election, and she's not running uncontested. 2 other candidates are also throwing their names into the ring. As for that recall, the Yakima County Auditor says it will no longer be moving forward.
The petitioners failed to turn in the required number of signatures by the legal deadline as per RCW. So, by law, once you miss that cutoff, then we can't process signatures.
So the Yakima County Auditor says that the deadline for those signatures was May 4th, and they were not submitted until May 12th.
Sad news now out of the Oregon Zoo as they mourn the loss of Moshu, a beloved red panda known affectionately as Sir Snacks-a-Lot. So Moshu passed away peacefully Wednesday morning, more than a year after being diagnosed with severe heart disease.
Yeah, at nearly 14 years old, he was considered elderly for a red panda and received specialized care in his final years. Known for his snack quests, little Sir Snacks-a-Lot, and his adorable blips, Moshu was a fan favorite on the social media pages of the Portland Zoo, and also fathered 4 cubs during his lifetime. Red pandas are endangered, with fewer than 3,000 estimated to remain in the wild. R.I.P. Moshu.
What a cutie. I just found out about him, and he's already gone.
I know. I feel like I need a picture of Moshu on my desk.
You do.
I do.
A shrine.
I do. Need a Moshu shrine. Still ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. Coming up next, a lot of us know that the cost of groceries has gone up, but they might be for reasons that you don't even realize. Coming up in your consumer news, an investigation into whether some supermarkets are overcharging customers at the checkout. And we'll also have another look at your forecast. It's all coming up after the break at 6:36.
Hello there, watch live with Kelly and Mark.
Weekday mornings at 9 on Apple Valley News Now.
When your family's protected under our roof.
So are you brave?
I'm brave.
They're free to enjoy their dreams.
I'm fearless.
I'm fearless.
Bundle life and save up to 25% on home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Let's get real. A lot of these adjustable base deals promise nothing but bupkis. A true adjustable base rises at the head and the foot to provide a zero-G sleeping experience. So it's time to ask, where's the foot? At Denver Mattress, our adjustable lineup delivers complete control to your head and feet according to your inclinations. And right now, purchase a Hibernation Silver Base and score a free Buena Vista mattress. That's right, a free mattress when you buy the base. Find out what a true adjustable base can do for you now at Denver Mattress.
Have you heard about refractive lens exchange? K2 Vision RLE means no glasses, no contacts, and no readers permanently. And you'll never develop a cataract.
No glasses or readers. K2 Vision RLE.
Ever feel like something's missing? Like there's a hole in your morning routine? Well, we've got just the thing. At Some Bagels, we make more than fresh bagels. We make a variety of baked goods to fill your day with everything you've been missing. Have your favorite coffee drink with our in-house roasted espresso beans. And enjoy your bagel with our flavored cream cheeses. Because at Some Bagels, the only thing better than the hole in the middle is everything around it. I want some, you want some, we want some, gimme Some Bagels.
Meet the Moore family. They switched from cable internet to Ziply Fiber and got so much more. Mr. Moore got more upload speed for next level gaming and live streaming to the masses. Mason Moore got even more done for his sneaker business, quickly uploading HD product demos and video conferencing without freezing.
Brad, you're on mute.
And now that her family doesn't need her for tech support, Mrs. Moore has more time to stream games into overtime.
Let's go!
Get more of what you love by switching to Ziply Fiber for $65 less per month than cable at ziplyfiber.com.
Attention viewers, Good News Today, produced by Richland Lutheran Church, airing Sundays at 9 a.m., will be airing this Saturday, May 17th at 9 a.m. Good News Today will resume its regularly scheduled time on Sunday, May 25th at 9 a.m.
When your family's protected under our roof.
So are you brave?
I'm brave.
They're free to enjoy their dreams.
I'm fearless.
I'm fearless.
Bundle life and save up to 25% on home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Wendy Redman is a leader in broadcast news. She breaks big stories, produces special reports that make a difference, and brings the news home each evening.
It's sometimes dramatic, but always informative.
Wendy Redman, Austin Reed, Stacey Lee, Apple Valley News Now, on your side.
Every morning
Kelly and Mark have all the right moves.
I did not anticipate dancing that hard.
Next live, Nick Jonas from Broadway's The Last 5 Years, plus Broadway legend Bernadette Peters.
Today at 9 on Apple Valley News Now.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colberth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Today we're going to have about a 40% chance of showers up in the Cascades, about a 10% chance of showers in the Kittitas Valley and Yakima Valley. That would be into the late afternoon, so 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Otherwise, it's going to be windy once again in the Kittitas Valley. Peak wind gusts out of the north and west around 45 miles per hour, but not as strong as some of the winds we observed yesterday. In the Yakima Valley, we'll have, again, in the upper valley, a low wind chance of a shower. Highs today around 70 degrees, and these winds out of the north and west up around 25 miles per hour. They'll be out of the west and southwest, peak gusts around 35 miles per hour for the lower Columbia Basin. Should be dry here. Highs around 70 degrees, partly to mostly cloudy skies. We'll also keep it dry for the Blue Foothills and the Blue Mountains. 60s for the Blue Foothills, 50s for the Blue Mountains. Also partly to mostly cloudy and peak gust out of the north and west for the Blue Foothills of Morrow County. Those would be around 35 miles per hour. Now let's talk about the big picture as we head into fire season. Here's today's vegetation dryness forecast. Remember, the 100th percentile would be the driest vegetation we've had since 2005. We're in the 59th percentile in Kittitas and Yakima counties, 42nd percentile in the Basin and Foothills, 36th percentile in the Blue Mountains. So in general, we're not all that dry in the grand scheme of things. It's still dry enough certainly to have small vegetation fires. And notice where the snowpack is the worst in the Cascades, that's where we're running ahead of some of these other microclimates. So that's certainly something we're going to be tracking very closely as we head into fire season.
All right, 6:41. Thanks so much, Josh. In your consumer headlines this morning, we all know that grocery prices have gone up. We've seen it. But what if you're being charged even more than you should be?
A new investigation is looking into whether some supermarkets are overcharging customers at the checkout, and it's not just a few cents.
Rhiannon Alley has this story on what's being done and what shoppers can watch out for.
Grocery prices are high enough these days, but this morning, Consumer Reports says supermarkets across the country are overcharging customers for some products marked as being on sale.
In about half of the stores we looked at, there were significant price tag errors.
Their investigation found widespread price label errors at 26 Kroger-owned grocery stores in more than a dozen states.
We found that most of the expired price tags led to overcharges at checkout. The average overcharge was $1.70 per item, which basically rounds up to about 18% per item, which is significant.
They looked into everything from beef, salmon, coffee, juice, vegetables, even cough medicine and dog food. One major factor in these pricing errors? Too many labels to keep up with. Some stores have as many as 15,000 discount tags displayed at one time.
Sometimes a lot of these folks are only working 20, 25 hours a week. This is a heavy, labor-intensive job.
In response, Kroger said it's committed to affordable and accurate pricing and regularly conducts price checks that review millions of items weekly to ensure our shelf prices are accurate. Kroger isn't alone. In 2022, a shopper sued Walmart for alleged overcharging. And this past October, Safeway, Albertsons, and Vons paid nearly $4 million to settle a lawsuit claiming they were overcharging customers more than the lowest advertised price. Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
Now, more stores are testing digital price tags to help with this problem.
Yeah, I've actually seen them pop up in some local stores. I have. So the takeaway here, they say consider snapping photos of any sale tags and then closely review your receipt.
I'll definitely be doing that.
Still ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. We have your morning sprint. Everything you need to know as you head out the door this morning, giving you a beautiful live look outside from our Dust Devils camera in Pasco. Blue skies, not even a cloud in the sky right now from that shot. Chief Meteorologist Josh Colberth is going to have your full First Alert forecast and let you know if any clouds are moving in. We're back after the break.
Riding a motorcycle is a great way to travel, but if someone turns in front of you, you're in the danger zone. If you've been hurt in an accident, call Allen Brecky Law Offices, 735-0546. They're waiting to help you.
Friday, May 16th, Polish Homes invites you out to Giesa Stadium for school night with the Dust Devils. It's also a family feast featuring hot dogs, soft drinks, and more for $2.50 each. The following night, Saturday, May 17th, will light up the sky above the Tri with a magnificent post-game fireworks show. For tickets, head to the official site, DustDevilsBaseball.com. Dust Devils Baseball. It will blow you away.
Feeling overwhelmed? It's time to shed your worries, literally. At Columbia Basin Buildings and Sheds, we've got the perfect shed to clear the clutter, create space, and bring peace to your life. Man cave, playhouse, done. Want something custom? We'll build it just the way you want it. And we deliver for free. Spring is here. Shed the mess, shed the stress. See dealer for special pricing. Visit Columbia Basin Building and Sheds today, 3680 West Van Giesen in West Richland.
Spectrum helps my business go from surviving to thriving. Even though our techniques are very ancient, we rely just as heavily on technology. We all collaborate on documents virtually. Our point of sale is all virtual. My Spectrum services help simplify my day.
Fast, reliable internet, starting at $40 a month, backed by the Spectrum commitment to keep your business connected.
Saved is a lifetime earned. Numerica Credit Union. Money where it matters.
Riding a motorcycle is a great way to travel, but if someone turns in front of you, you're in the danger zone. If you've been hurt in an accident, call Allen Brecky Law Offices, 735-0546. They're waiting to help you.
Early warnings, accurate forecasts.
Apple Valley News now, first alert weather.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Yesterday was very windy, and we're already tracking another very windy day for Sunday. Once again, Kittitas Valley peak gusts between 60 to 65 miles per hour. That's the end of the story. We'll start off at the beginning of the story for today, 12 p.m. Clouds building. Then by the late afternoon, could have a few showers in the valleys and in the Cascades. And between 4 to 8 is when we'll see some of the showers starting to trickle down into the lower Columbia Basin. Around midnight, situated on top of the Blue Foothills and the Blue Mountains. And then into tomorrow, Futurecast not super bullish on shower chances. I'm personally going with some showers possible up in the mountains and foothills. But I think overall most of us are going to be pretty dry for Friday. However, that is not going to be the case for Saturday, as we have another storm system that's rolling in. We'll have pretty widespread chances, likely chances of showers and thunderstorms for Saturday. Some of that lingering for Sunday, much drier for Monday through Wednesday. But let's talk about this Saturday and Sunday sequence, as if you do a little bit of rounding here, we could maybe get upwards of an inch of rain in the Blue Mountains, maybe upwards of a ½ inch in the Cascades, between 0.2 to 0.4 for the Blue Foothills, but pretty pitiful totals is what we're expecting for the valleys, and for the basin will struggle to even get a 1/10 of an inch of water. But that doesn't mean we're going to go without impacts for lower elevations, as again, peak wind gusts in the Kittitas Valley between 60 to 65 miles per hour for Sunday in particular. But even the lower Columbia Basin, the Yakima Valley, and especially the Blue Foothills of Morrow, Umatilla, and Walla Walla counties, all seeing breezy to windy conditions. High temperatures staying about 5 to 10 degrees cooler than normal for this time of the year through Sunday, but we start to get closer and closer to that average line for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Here is the 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. Showers likely Saturday, perhaps a leftover shower Sunday, then a very pleasant start to next week. In Yakima, maybe a shower possible during the late afternoon into the evening for today, and then another round possible Saturday, then the winds pick up Sunday. In Ellensburg, showers and storms likely Saturday, another round of very strong wind gusts on Sunday, then maybe a smidge calmer to start next week. For Hermiston, maybe a sprinkle on Friday, but showers likely for Saturday, perhaps a leftover shower again for Sunday. Then in Walla Walla, rain could still hang around on Friday, but chances for showers and thunderstorms will be much higher on Saturday. Now let's head out to New York City to see what's ahead on Good Morning America.
In this morning's GMA First Look, climbing out of debt.
It's great to actually feel like you're taking control of the situation rather than being a victim of your own bad choices.
Tracy Schultz calls her Massachusetts apartment a sanctuary, a home filled with color, character, and now peace of mind. Just a few years ago, Tracy was drowning in credit card debt after a breakup left her covering rent on her own. She managed to rack up a $20,000 balance.
I was coasting, making the minimum payments, and then all of a sudden it got to the point where I didn't have enough in my budget to cover the minimum of what was due every month, and that's when I realized that I was in trouble.
And coming up at 7 a.m., we'll have more of the tips that helped her erase her debt and how you can take the first steps to get your finances in order. With your GMA First Look, I'm Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
What are folks 60 and older learning these days?
New perspectives.
How to fix things.
Fun recipes.
This is not a procedure. It's just a hard-working cream.
Revitalift Triple Power with pro-retinol, hyaluronic acid, and vitamin C visibly reduces wrinkles, firms, and brightens skin in 1 week.
Ladies, it's time to ask for more.
Revitalift Triple Power by L'Oreal Paris.
Pain means pause on the things you love, but green means go. Among neck pain sufferers, BioFreeze Gel was found to be 2 times more effective than ice. So you can keep on going. BioFreeze. Green means go.
Now, the morning sprint.
Time is now 6:52. It's time for your morning sprint. We're starting off with your national headlines. Global oil prices have fallen slightly after reports that the United States is close to signing a nuclear deal with Iran. The price of a barrel of Brent crude is the global oil benchmark. It fell over 3% this morning to $64 a barrel, and trading was down 3.5% to almost $61 a barrel around the same time. A potential U.S.-Iran nuclear deal raises the prospect of more of Tehran's oil becoming available on the global market, and the deal could result in looser sanctions on Tehran and boost overall supply.
Well, Dick's Sporting Goods is nearing a deal to buy Foot Locker. The outlet says the deal would be for about $2.3 billion. According to the report, the deal could be finalized as soon as today. The potential deal would allow Dick's to expand outside of the U.S.
In your health news, popular burger chain In-N-Out is removing artificial coloring from some of its menu items. The fast food restaurant is eliminating artificial dyes used in its strawberry milkshakes and pink lemonade. The dyes will be replaced with natural coloring, and In-N-Out is also in the process of transitioning to a new ketchup that uses real sugar instead of high fructose corn syrup.
6:53, and your top 5 local headlines you need to know this morning. One person was taken to the hospital after a school bus and a truck crashed in Kennewick on Wednesday afternoon. Crash happened at the intersection of 10th and Clearwater just around 2 p.m. There were some kids on the bus. They were treated for some minor injuries, but none of them were seriously injured. Police say this is just a good reminder to stay alert, especially at busy intersections.
In Richland, the school board voted unanimously to repeal a policy focused on race and curriculum. The board says it still values diverse representation in the classroom and supports teaching history from a nonpartisan, factual standpoint.
A political shakeup in Mabton as the current mayor is facing a recall effort, announcing she'll seek re-election. 2 challengers are also in the running, but the recall won't move forward. Yakima County Auditor says the petitioners missed the May 4th deadline to turn in the required signatures.
And 6 Kennewick schools were honored by the Washington School Recognition Program for their performance during the school year. That includes Amistad, Cottonwood, Southgate, Vista, Westgate, and Endeavor High School. And they're being recognized for achievement, growth, and closing opportunity gaps.
And before wildfire season officially kicks off, the American Red Cross is preparing to help communities stay safe. This Saturday, volunteers will go door to door in Yakima's Meadowbrook Estates to educate residents on wildfire risks and prevention. That starts at 9 a.m. 6:54 trending this morning. Some shocking body cam footage from an Ohio traffic stop shows. Shows what? This is the best thing on the internet. Shows a raccoon with a meth pipe.
Oh my gosh. Oh, look at it there. Okay. Oh gosh. Okay, so police said this happened last week in Summit County, Ohio. Officers say the owner of the car, a 55-year-old woman, had an active warrant and suspended driver's license, and she was taken into custody.
And when asked, the raccoon said, "I was just holding this for a friend." After returning to the car, the officer noticed a raccoon named Chewy that was sitting.
What has a name? So it was a pet.
Look at that picture.
He was sitting in the driver's seat with a meth pipe in its mouth. Police said the raccoon, thankfully, was not hurt.
So this was her pet. This was Chewy.
Chewy's watching the car. He's watching
frame.
her pipe. You know, it's.
Oh my gosh. So the woman was charged with possession of drugs, possession of drug paraphernalia, and driving on a suspended license.
But how's Chewy? He's probably fine.
But she
Let's
wasn't
hope.
charged with like having a raccoon in her car. That's got to be a crime.
It sounds like
gotta
it.
be.
I feel like it's not. Is it legal to have a raccoon as a pet?
Maybe with a pipe.
I think in Louisiana it is.
And this was Ohio, so.
Okay, I'd have to check the books on that one.
Yeah, but
you
oh my
shouldn't.
gosh.
Even
Best
if,
thing on the
even if it's illegal, you shouldn't have a raccoon as a pet. They are the devil's animal.
They're aggressive.
Wild.
Yeah, and they'll get into your food.
And
your meth.
This is going to be the second time I've referenced this scene on this. At this desk, but Elf, where he goes to goes to hug the raccoon and it attacks his face.
Yep. That's real
what
life.
they're like.
Yeah, that's real life.
And imagine that on meth.
Oh my gosh, I can't.
Not you, but
It's
the
like
raccoon.
Cocaine Bear. They need a movie now. Yeah.
Maybe that's what was wrong with that raccoon in Elf.
Yeah. Okay, we got to steer this ship back to weather. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the winds. Not as strong as yesterday, but they are still certainly, you're feeling the impacts of that in the Kittitas Valley and in the lower Columbia Basin, the Blue Foothills, the Blue Mountains. They'll continue to be very pesky throughout the day. Right now, temperatures in the 40s and 50s for lower elevations, 30s up in the mountains. Later today will still be about 5 to 10 degrees cooler than normal for this time of the year. Could have some showers during the late afternoon in the valley. Some of those could spread to the east for tonight. Here's the bottom line for the forecast. Round of showers likely tonight, especially in the foothills and mountains. Showers and thunderstorms becoming likely again on Saturday. Hey, guess what? More winds. Guess where? Kittitas Valley. Guess when? On Sunday.
Thank you guys for watching Good Morning Northwest. You can always find updates on our website. That's applevalleyNewsNow.com.
Good Morning America is up next. We'll be back tonight at 5 with your local news and weather.
Have a great day.